Okay, we are spinning. You're live. Okay. Okay, my laptop just reminded me that I'm alive, and we are alive, and we welcome you once again to our Shabbat service. Once again, this is going to be our unity message, our unity service, which we will be broadcasting roughly for 25 minutes or so. So you'll notice it's much briefer, and then at quarter to 12, you sign on, you change the channel to the Your Arms to Israel channel, and it'll be our seventh unity message, where we all come together and join forces. And rather than talking the talk, we're going to walk the walk as we have been, and show our unity, because we've always been preaching and teaching the importance of being unified and being not just, separate drops in a bucket, but we go from a puddle to a pond, to a river, to an ocean. We want to encourage brethren. It's a bit of a sacrifice, I had a message lined up, and we got the text last night that this is the week we're doing this. So I'll have to wait till next Shabbat to teach what I was going to teach. But this is February 12th, peoples, and it's the last day of the 11th month, day 30, and tomorrow will be the Chodesh for the new month, and it's the last month of the year. So after tomorrow, we have the next will be the Rosh Chodesh, which will be the new month, which will be the spring, and we will be engaging in the Pesach before you know it. So now's the time to get ready, to prepare your heart, and to do a little spring cleaning, get rid of the stuff that's not useful to you. So tomorrow is Chodesh 12, and we'll be having a small conference call meeting at 10 a.m. And let's see. Okay, so I just want to run over some familiar territory again. And again, to contact us, we are Beth Tefilah, as you see the way that it's spelled on. Shabbat Shalom, William. Shabbat Shalom. And we have Gilbert and Pat with us, but we won't be doing the regular service with the readings or the message. We'll just do this introductory to make sure that we're all on the same page. So Bet Tefillah, Messianic Congregation. It's Post Office Box 170384. Post Office Box 170384. That's Ozone Park, New York. Ozone Park. And 11417 is the zip diddy code. 11417. And if you want to text us or contact us, 718-219-5247. 718-219-5247. And again, we encourage you to subscribe. Let us know what you think. Join us and do a little chat with us during the course of our messages. And then, like I said, you switch over at quarter of to Your Arms to Israel. Your Arms to Israel. That's going to be the seventh unity meeting. And it's a blessing that we can do this. And again, come together. We need to come together as mishpacha, as family. And okay, so that's our information, contact information. As you're aware, we generally do this later on in the broadcast, but before time gets away from us, I want to make sure that we can stay in contact. And again, we are here on this really beautiful. It's going to be a nice sunny Shabbat. We're going to go from like 50 down to the 20s, I think, something like that. Some crazy change in the weather, but we're here. We're in for the duration, and Yah has been a great blessing to us. We've been seeing great things happen, great things happening. So again, we welcome you, and the Shabbat. We need to keep it kadosh. We need to keep it. We need to shomar. We need to observe it. We need to guard it and treasure it, and do all that we are called to do. Yah made the Sabbath holy, and He requires that we keep it holy. So the Shabbat, we go to the book of Exodus, Shemot, which is, and the names, okay, Shemot, plural of Shem, which is name. 20 verse 11 says Yahuwah. Blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it kadosh, made it holy, made it set apart, made it distinct. And those who would keep it are also to be distinct. We are also to be different and set apart. That's why I am holy and you are to be holy also. And that's what holy is, kadosh, which is to be set apart, to be distinct, and not just easily lost in the crowd. We don't settle. We stand out in the crowd, if anything, and we are distinct. We don't do or think like everybody else. And we go to chapter 31:13. It's going to be mindful of the time here, because before it gets away from us here. Exodus 31:13, where Yahuwah, the eternal Yah, speaks to Moses, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses our teacher. And he says to him, he says, speak to the Bnei Israel, to the children of Israel, saying, above all, top priority, my Sabbaths you shall keep. My Shabbatot, the plural of Sabbaths, top priority. And again, when it's plural like that, as I say, as our introduction, with variations, we emphasize this, the singularities of Shabbat. It is the weekly Sabbath, so we have 52 of those per year. And then we have at least 7 additional Sabbaths, which are listed in the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, which is chapter 23. So be familiar with that. Be familiar with chapter 23 of Leviticus. Above all, my Sabbath you shall keep, you shall shomar, you shall observe, you shall guard and treasure. This is a special thing. Even as we are called to be the apple of his eye, his being Yah, his being Elohim, we are to be the apple of his eye. So we are to be distinct, and we are to shomar, we are to observe and keep and treasure and love the Sabbath. And we're going to get into that in a moment here. For it, the idea of Shabbat, the idea of rest and restoration, is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. And I refer to that as sort of an umbilical cord between us and him, as a covenant sign. And it's also like an infusion. It's like a transfusion. He is the vine, we are the branches. We are the Nazrim, we are the branches, and we are to branch out as he branches out. And we are to be faithful and produce the fruit that we have been given every opportunity to and ability to. And those who refuse the calling are dried up and are gathered to be burned. Okay, we don't like to focus on that part of it. So the idea of Sabbath is that it is a sign, it is an oath, it is a sign between us, a covenant sign of faithfulness. And again, are you part of the Berit Olam? Are you part of the eternal covenant? People like to throw the word covenant around, but what are the stipulations of the covenant? One of them is the sign of the covenant, which is Shabbat. And, one day being more important than the rest of the days of the week. Well, it's different. It's distinct from the rest. The 6 days of creation are all amazing and are all specific and are all unique. But the Shabbat day comes at the conclusion of the works, that we stop. Boom, we come to a complete grinding halt. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. And that includes everything. Your job, which is perfectly good, but not for today. And our thoughts that go stray, we think about things that maybe we shouldn't focus on, because we are to be kadosh, set apart, to think as he thinks, not as the way we used to think. Carnal thoughts, worldly thoughts, thoughts of doing ill, those thoughts which cause us to stray. In you read the book of the Judges, the Shoftim, we see that during that period of time in Israel's history, they were doing everything that was good in their own sight. They had no consideration for doing the things that Yah thought would be appropriate. He would see that they were doing evil in his eye, evil in his sight, in his view, and evil being horrendous things, but also just disobeying the commandments that were given to assure a life of success and health and well-being. So the Torah, the instruction of Yah, is to our benefit. It's not law as we're taught in traditional Christianity, where Because most of the times when we're talking between the Pharisees and the Sadducees and so on, it's man-made laws that they're adhering to. And you again read Deuteronomy 12, read Jeremiah 10, and read Mark chapter 7. Put them together and see what we're talking about. That they want to hold on to their traditions and set aside the Torah of Yah, the instruction of Yah. And we need to be faithful. We are made uniquely in his image and likeness, and Torah is the instruction book. It's the manifesto. It's the instruction book is pretty good. We've been made in his image and likeness, and it is his his clues on how to do this effectively. He is El Presidente, and that is the Constitution. And it is encapsulating these things. And again, we can fool ourselves and think, okay, I'll read this book, and that's all I need to do, and just do what it says. No, you have to have the circumcision of the heart, the berit, halev. The heart needs to be circumcised. You need to walk in faithfulness and love Yah. The first and greatest commandment is to love him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And our second, which is like it, is to love our neighbor as ourselves. Upon these two, all the rest of the Torot hang, are suspended, and are secured. So when we think of law versus love, we got it all wrong. The two great commandments are we shall love Yah and love each other. Okay? Can you be forced to love somebody? No. No, you in fact, if you were told to love an obnoxious neighbor, we're going to have our hearts hardened, because it's impossible to love somebody. But to love that which is perfect, to love and not be forced to do it. Everything is of our own volition. We can choose to do this or not to do this, but we can't do it partially. It's got to be wholeheartedly. You have to love Yah with all of your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength. And if we're doing it effectively, we have truth. We bear fruit of it. We have evidence of it. And if we have evidence of it, as Yah says, the loving our neighbors ourselves is keeping that. We keep the whole Torah, because that's the one thing that we can be seen to observe or not observe. If we hold, racist thoughts, if we're holding superiority thoughts, obviously we got to go back to the book. Obviously, we got to have a long conversation. But if we're doing what we need to be doing, we're growing in him, and we're doing better. We're doing better. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. It's the connection. If you want to hang up, that's entirely up to you. Nothing is forced on you. Nothing is forced. But if you say yes and then you back away, that's a problem. That's a problem. So that's why we need to weigh these things. Count the cost, Messiah says. Count the cost. There was a man who said, I'm going to be building buildings, and they're going to be great, and they're going to be this. I'm going to be so successful. And then he runs out of money during the course of the building, and he had to stop. And everyone ridiculed him, because there is evidence, evidence of his failure. If ever you walk by a building that's half built, so what's the story? This is definitely a story behind that. And that's it. It's that this guy thought that he could do this without really thinking things through. And as a result, he was unable to do it. And as a result, he's held to ridicule, because the wisdom of Yah makes the rest of the wisdom of man to be a foolish thing. Because we have our plans, but he's got the master plan. And if our plans conflict with his, then again, we have a problem. So keeping Shabbat is to keep the covenant sign between us. He made it kadosh, he made it holy and set apart, and he requires that we keep it that way. And we are to do this. It's a sign, it's an oath between us forever, okay, between me and you throughout your generations. And by doing it, that you may know that I am Yahuwah. I am the one who sanctifies you. You're doing this action, but it's not your action that makes it so. We don't earn this. It is simply, we don't do it to get his approval. We do it because we have his approval. He knows the heart. He knows our minds. And during the course of life, you read the scriptures, there's testings that occur from time to time. A lot of people say, oh, he would never. He's testing us. What's wrong with that? Because he sees that there's some vacillation in our past, in our present, and very well likely to happen in our future. So, keeping the Shabbat, we go to Isaiah 58, verse 13. And I've got about, okay. So pardon me if I keep looking at my clock over here, because I want to make sure that you have enough time to gather yourself and to join us on the Yadi channel, which is Your Arms to Israel. And like I said, Chris Bromfield is a wonderful teacher. He's really very intelligent, really, really good teacher. And Yochanan, John McKinney, is a wonderful guy, another deep thinker, a deep teacher, and wonderful. So I won't be talking much today, but that's okay. We want to, again, we're giving up for the unity, and I just pray that you would join us there. Okay. So again, Isaiah 58, verse 13 and 14. If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, okay, in other words, our regular plan on any day of the week, and then we stop because it is Shabbat. Wait a minute, what am I doing? And if from doing your pleasure on my holy day, doing your own thing when you should be doing my thing. I've opened up the door. I've invited you to come in on the seventh day. The Shabbat, I made it kadosh. I made it holy. And when you enter in that door, you are also holy. Because it's not the hearers of the word, but it's the doers of the word that are kadosh, that are set apart. From doing your pleasure on my holy day, and if we call the Shabbat a delight, oh, it's not a burden, it's a delight. We've overcome the world, so Torah is not beyond us. If we call the Shabbat a delight, and then there's a parallelism right there, says if we call the holy day of Yahuwah honorable, so the day is holy, it's set apart, it's distinct, right? And if we call it honorable, it's an honorable thing to enter into a relationship where you're doing good. It's like if you start a job that's actually helping to help people and is not doing evil, but actually doing the work to make people's lives better. You're honorable. You're doing something honorable with your life. So that's what we don't want to waste our lives or waste our time. We want to be honorable people. That's not pride. That's we want to do right. We want to be distinct and set apart. We want to be able to help people. Okay? So if we call this holy day honorable, we are to honor him. Okay, the giver of Torah, Noten HaTorah, the giver of instruction. Not just the instruction as some kind of an idol, but we honor the speaker, we honor the teacher, we honor the giver of Torah, and we receive it because it's a generous gesture on his part. Okay, we shall honor him. And how do we honor him? By not doing your own ways, not finding your own pleasures, nor speaking your own words. So we enter into this whole new environment that is holy, that is set apart, that is heavenly. It's like we open up a door and we step into the clouds. That's what Shabbat is. It's a kadosh, holy, set apart day, a set apart experience awaits us on the Shabbat, in which we are to hear the word, we are to live the word. Okay? Okay? We shall honor him, not doing our own ways, nor finding our own pleasures, nor speaking our own words. And then, by doing that, then, we shall delight ourselves in Yah. You know, a true believer who does not know these things. Well, how do you honor Yah? Well, Yochanan Aleph, 1 John says, we love him. This is love for Elohim, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not a burden for us, so we can do this. We can honor him by keeping his mitzvot, his commandments. And Shabbat, as we saw, is a covenant sign of faithfulness, that we honor him by doing what he requires on his day. It's like the wife that asked the husband, what are you in the mood for? Oh, you know what? I'd really love to have this. I'd love to have a nice slice of pizza or something like that, okay? And so the wife goes out and puts a pork chop on his plate. Whoa, 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 whoa. I thought you were asking me what I like so that you would, have that. Okay? Oh, I didn't know. Oh, how would you not know? Yah says this is the way you are to gain honor, to be on an equal standing with him, face to face. Walk as he walked, think as he thinks. What he says is Tov is Tov. What he says is Ra, evil, wicked. We have to say, yes, it is. It is wicked because it is distracting us, and eliminating our relationship, eroding it away by doing our own things. So we're not doing our own ways or our own pleasures or our own words. And by keeping it honorable and doing what he requires, shall we shall delight ourselves in the giver. And not just, like I said, not like Torah is an idol. It is his communication to us. So when we read it, we hear his voice. So we're communicating with the ones that we love, right? That's why we have the guilt trips when our parents say, "So why haven't you called? Why haven't you called lately? I've been waiting to hear by the phone. Where have you been?" You get a little guilt trip, right, by our parents or our loved ones, and we say, "You're right. You're right. I've got no excuse." So how much more so the Creator, who gave us this wonderful Torah? Then you shall delight yourself in Yah, and as a result, I will cause you to rise on the high hills of the earth, not in the valleys, not in the horrendous conditions, but on the high hills where everyone can see you and see your success and your willingness to follow the Creator, the high hills of the earth. And because we're on the high hills of the earth, He will feed us with the heritage of Yaakov, our father, who is Israel. Okay? We are Israel. We are the Israel of Yahuwah. We are, whether we're physical descendants, and I'm not talking about being Jewish or not being Jewish. I don't think I'm Jewish. Well, that's your own journey. But there's 12 tribes. There was two nations, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And that's where Jeremiah says, I will make a Brit Chadashah, a new covenant, with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. He's talking about uniting these two, reuniting the 12, because the northern kingdoms have been sifted through the nations, and they're just coming to understand who they are in the world today. So he will feed us with the heritage of Yaakov. I will feed you. Where is the word? It's not up in the heavens or to the far lengths of the world. It's in your mouth. It's in your mouth. Out of the abundance of our hearts, our lips will speak. And he gives us good, nourishing things to take. The bread and the wine of the Pesach is what we take. If you don't eat my flesh or drink my blood, you have no part in me. You don't let me wash your feet, you have no part in me. So we have to receive from him and not be proud. No, you're not going to wash my feet. Let him do that. Let him do that. And he has washed our feet so that our path is smooth. Our path is faithful. Our path is going to accomplish great things for him and for us. He will cause us to ride on that high hills, to feed us with that rich heritage of Yaakov, our father. He is our father. Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, the patriarchs, are our fathers. Even if you are not of the tribes like Issachar or Zebulun or Asher, there's 12. You say, well, I'm not Jewish, and the Torah is for the Jews. Yeah, it's for the Jews, but as as our friend Moshe says, it's also for the Joes also. And who are the Joes? Joes are Joseph, the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, where Jacob, who's now Israel, that's his name, said, my name shall be upon you. So we have the Jews and the Joes. That's the people of Israel. And we are, even if we don't have a blood link to those people, we have a spiritual link, and we're part of the commonwealth. Once we were far off, but now we've been brought near. We're no longer strangers in this world. We are of him. We are of Yahuwah. And then to seal the deal, he says, the mouth of Yahuwah has spoken. Bang, bang. He is the Shofet Agadol, the great judge. He hits his gavel on the desk there, and he says, no further argument. No arguments. This is what I'm saying. It's no further, not open to debate. So we need to follow the example of Yah. That's why he came. One of the reasons he came in Mashiach, that he experienced mortal life, that he could suffer pain and hunger, and that he could die, and that he could also be resurrected. Nobody takes my life from me. I give it willingly, but I also have the power to take it back. So how wonderful is that? And that's what he offers us, that we will live forever. We will follow him. We will be of his people, his unique people, those who shamar, those who observe, those who guard, those who keep the very words of life. Mashiach when people were abandoning him because some of the things he was saying was a little too tough, a little too close. He said, "You gonna leave me now too?" And Shimon Kifa, Simon Peter says, "Where are we gonna go? You got the words of eternal life. Where's a plan B? You know, there's only a plan A with Yahuwah. Plan A will suffice. His grace is sufficient for us. His plan is sufficient for us, and it's wonderful. So again, we encourage you in some 15, 16 minutes to rejoin us on the other platform, Your Arms to Israel. And you'll see me my punim in a little, Brady Bunch puzzle on the screen there. And you'll hear from two great brothers today, and it's wonderful. I'm looking forward to it myself. So we say Shabbat Shalom to you, and we thank you so much for watching, for being part of our ministry. Whether you stumble upon us from time to time, let us know what you think. Let us know um, that we've touched a nerve in a good way or a bad way. Hey, who are you? Who do you think you are? I don't think I'm much, but what we share here is through a lot of prayer, and we believe in sharing the word from the experience, from the mistakes of religion, and we're doing a deeper dive, a deeper research, and we want to make sure that what we put out here every Shabbat morning at 11, and then every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. for our midweek midrash, everything we put out there, it's got to meet the standard. It's got to pass the stink test. It's got, it's got a lot of people out there who have these beautiful high tech, special effects and such. You see, we're very low tech. Okay, I can apologize for that because maybe somebody will help us to get a little bit more high tech down the road. But this is it. This is it. Messiah came as not as an opulent king with the jewels. He came as a regular guy, a regular guy. People had problems with that. That's sorry about that. But again, we say Shabbat Shalom. Be well. Catch us on the other channel, and I pray that you all have a wonderful week. Be strong. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Love Yah, and also check our episodes in the past. We've touched on a lot of different subjects, a lot of different topics. Shabbat Shalom, William. And again, we thank you so much for tuning in to us. And we'll see you hopefully Wednesday evening, if not, hopefully next Shabbat. And again, if you can't be here live, we are in our collection. You'll see us there. Okay? So again, we wish you Shabbat Shalom, and we will see you very soon. And I was going to say Lila Tov. It's too early to say good night. But we say Shalom, Shalom to you. And thank you again for being with us. Amen. Okay. Okay, peeps.